All right, it's Friday, March 7th. This is an end of the day, an end of the week SPY recap. And today on the daily chart, we end up with a bit of a two down reversal looking bar, two down green bar that took out the low of the previous day. And after moving a little lower, then decided to move up into the afternoon and close green, giving you a bit of a reversal look. So you kind of anticipate going into the next day of trading. If you can hold the midpoint of this bar, then you're going to test that high of today, and you see the kind of the next broadening targets here and here. The thing is, in order for this reversal to sustain itself to the upside, which is something that is possible here if we're looking at this big broadening formation, higher highs, lower lows, higher highs, lower lows. If we want to reverse and go all the way up to higher highs, what's going to have to happen here, and it looks a little tricky, is to really take out this weekly red bar and have a two up bar. Now it's possible, we certainly start higher, but we're going to see as we start moving, if that happens, if we start moving up into this bar, do we kind of hold the midpoint of that area and eventually fail? At that point, we'll see what kind of weekly bar forms next week, and that might be a better sign as to whether let's say we get an inside bar, then are we going to get a two up bar the week after and work towards those highs, or is that going to, not really follow through to the upside and eventually break down lower and break through this whole broadening area where we've hit some key targets, and that's why you're pausing it. We hit this little target, we've hit these two targets. That's why things are pausing here. But if we can't get a real weekly reversal, and it might take all week to figure that out, then we could be heading lower to some lower targets. On the monthly chart, which is kind of a down month at the moment, first week into the month, yeah, we can pause a little bit, but if this stays red all month, we don't hold and reverse up here, we could be heading down to, this next target down here and this next target down here with a little buying support into these buying tails. But look, it's still a nice drop, a lot lower for the rest of the month or in compound fashion. So, we're still in a downward kind of mode here, but we're just at a key inflection point, and that's why you're seeing some volatility down in this area. We're getting buying, then a green bar, then a red bar, then a green bar. So, the market's trying to figure out whether to reverse or head lower. Another thing too, if you look at this reversal bar, you have to kind of see when it happened. It happened here on a Friday. And that's kind of important. That's very similar to this reversal bar, I think, back here when you wanted to see would this, this happened on a Friday as well. And we did follow through to the upside for a couple of days. But if you look at the weekly chart at that point, it's very similar to what we see now. It was a bit of a weekly chart with a buying tail. We had the reversal on Friday. We followed through a little bit, kind of didn't get through the halfway point of that bar, and then eventually rolled over to the downside and moved lower. So same thing here. If we go up for a couple of days, that, it can present some good trading. But then, if we can't really sustain itself, you can get back to the sell side too, and then kind of see how the week the week finishes up. Versus this bar here, this green reversal bar at the lower low area was on a Monday, and it already took out the low of the previous week. That was down here on a Monday. So we had the green bar. You expect to follow through. We had the potential failure where we took out the low first. Then within 2 days, we came up through the midpoint of that bar. So that meant on the weekly chart, we were projecting up here by the end of the week. And now once you get up here, you're close to those highs to take those out. And that's why this reversal bar on a Monday that followed through a little bit to the midpoint of the prior week eventually made it all the way up to higher highs. So, this one looks more like, just a bounce area to start, and we're really going to have to see what unfolds day to day, and we're going to really have to see how the next week ends up. I mean, it's possible we get a very strong, move up all week long. I don't know for sure, but with that red bar, you're kind of skeptical about that. Also, we're going to see where this was the opening price of this week. The opening price starting on Monday is going to be somewhere around here, let's say, and that's going to be a key reference point. So let's say we start higher on a two up day that starts hitting some targets up here. As long as we stay above that area, then let's just see if we continue day after day up and get a two up week. But if not, if we eventually fail and get a two down and we go below the open, let's say it's over here, then you can almost expect us to test these lows, and maybe it's just a little pause area and we're going a lot lower. So a lot, I think, will be uncovered more next week. And I kind of knew that, coming to the end of this week, knowing we're having a big red bar that's hit targets, and you're just not going to know if the weekly chart's ready to reverse to the upside quite yet, given the fact time needs to go by. But we have a lot of time in the month to figure that out, so it just might be a little tricky, and we might have to just go day to day the way I see it. And today, for example, finally, I discussed how it was a good opportunity, given the close yesterday that moved lower, to kind of expect those lows to be tested. Once you had the green opening, took out the pre-market highs. I bought some puts here. It took out the lows that were expected, almost had a pause and a second push down. That was to another key target right here, and similar to the way it happened it was a few days ago where it hit a key target and then it immediately had a strong move up. This was the type of thing too where in the afternoon it moved a lot higher, and it's not surprising on a Friday after hitting a key target you're going to get that bounce. So that's why my trading, I'm always looking for that first move of the day directionally into the morning. This was midday down here. These will be your profits. Then if you want to be real aggressive, I actually bought some Amazon, and I discussed that. You can look at the videos. I bought some Amazon at this lower blue line, and I took scaled out here, and you can see it did have that move up, above 200, pretty strong for the rest of the day. So, not surprising to see this at all. It doesn't mean in the long term we have a big reversal to the upside, although it's possible. But we're just going to have to see. You expect a little higher to start the week. Let's just see how it goes relative to this weekly chart. As the days go on, and you can play it both ways. I think there'll be some good trading if opening price action leads us higher to start the week. And if it can't move higher, that's really a sign that maybe this pause area is not getting any kind of reversal at all, and expect lower. And if we can break through all this, then we're heading, way down in this area. So keep that in mind. Any failures, to really move up, those are going to be good sell signals, because the monthly chart, until next month is still looking pretty red here, with a chance to go a lot lower if it can't bounce from this area. So that's the recap for this week. Let's see how things go on Monday.